Good afternoon, this is Amsan Sidudo, and I am here to continue the lesson. So, we are now on control and power, and it's stated here that globalization has a great impact to economies as well as to politics. Globalization became steering wheel for the creation of nation state. However, these nation states are weakened because people and borders become fluid and solidified in our globalized world. Most of the media corporations are the powerful political actors. Individual journalists are subject to brutal and intense intimidation as more actors contend for power. So, this basically means that the globalization had also became an open tunnel that leads to a lot of companies and individuals to contend and became more greedy for for control and power. And also, way back years, globalization has has made the world a harrowing place for journalists. Why? Because according to International Federation of Journalists, there are 1,100 journalists who was killed in line of their duty, and some was convicted with several cases without evidence because there are some companies and individual who did not like what these journalists write and reported. So next are the cultural imperialism with cultural dopes and hypodermic needle. And it's stated here that media today is a significant carrier of culture, but it should be understood that media are people. They are against of economic imperialism and aggressive political lobbyists in culture which promotes beauty, power, and profit. Globalization in media truly gives us the ability to imagine the world as a global village which evokes community, kinship, cooperation, and fraternity. So, this basically means that cultural imperialism theory argues that audiences across the globe are heavily affected by the media message originating from the western industrialized countries. And one of the example of this is the loss of many languages with the intensification of English language. And it's happening nowadays, especially here in our country, na parang mas marunong pa tayo sa Ingles kaysa sa katutubong wika natin. This also means that media can be a great carrier of culture. And there are so-called magic bullet or hypodermic needle theories that argues that media has a great influence to people since it has a powerful effects to its audiences. And I think it's true, and it happens nowadays when we people are injected with other culture. It will impacted us to the point that it will create a great changes in in our system, in our practices. In this point, dito napapasok ang cultural loops when we lost our own national identity because we kept on practicing others' culture. And one of the most relevant example of this is the K-pop or known as the Hallyu Wave that was originated in South Korea, but now it goes global. Many countries in the West are now into K-pop, and even our country. Indeed, Korean culture really do dominating the world to the point that we are now practicing their cultures while our own culture was slowly drowning. Let's now go to Unit 4, A World of Ideas. Lesson 2, The Globalization of Religion. Learning goals. Explain how globalization affects religious practices and beliefs. Analyze the relationship between the the religion, and the global conflict, evaluate the effect of globalization to affect global religious peace, and identify the challenges of religious and globalization. So, what are religion? Religion is a system of belief. It came from the Latin word religar, which means to bind together again that which was once but has since been torn apart or broken. Which the solidification of globalization, it has challenged the role of religion to the people and to the society. So in this part, with the globalization of economics and politics, individual felt insecure as the life they once led is being contested and changed at the same time. This where this where the religion arises and gives meaning to the word. It gives a moral compass explaining how we should act in life situations, and especially how we treat each other. And it provides guidance on how to view the word and interact with it. Also, it provides belonging and a sense of community. We are now down to my last topic, which is the historical background of religion. And it's stated here that globalizing religion is not new. When people learned to trade and travel to other parts of the world, globalization of religion started. Hindu civilization spread throughout Asia, while the teachings and the monastic tradition of Gautama Buddha has reached from Sri Lanka and the Indian subcontinent through Afghanistan and China to Korea, Japan, and most of Southeast Asia. So this basically means that the one of the implication of globalization is to encourage religious pluralism. Why? Because in this modern era where colonization is no longer present, the number one reason for the spread of religion globally is through migration, which means displacement of a large number of people from diverse religions and cultural backgrounds to another one. It really facilitates the increase of believers from different parts of the world.